Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Thursday, the 14th of November. All right, now, right in the middle of the Asian session, no better time to do the overall analysis. Now, I've added a few extra features here to the MyFX Trading Hub. You'll now see a bit of a strength meter there, or a gauge on the support and resistance. And you can just see down here, just below, green bars are weekly, 2 bars daily, and 1 bar hourly. And that's pretty much how the strength of those trend lines should be reflected. Now, we've just had a pretty big sort of occasion where we had the US CPI numbers out. Now, let me just run through that first of all. Now, there's two sort of sets of numbers these days. Central banks running their own sort of numbers. But you've got the core numbers, okay, slightly, well, year on year, slightly worse than expected, only by 0.1. But the main CPI numbers were slightly stronger on the month-on-month and year-on-year. So with this one sort of slightly weaker and this one slightly up, it didn't really do a lot for the dollar. Okay, you can see the dollar index here. It pretty much just traded sideways. We didn't see too much activity, and that is a real shame, okay, because that gives us a chance when I come back to the MyFX Trading Hub to really light up the dollar. But you know what? It hasn't actually sent it down, hasn't sent it up. It's kept that that dollar presence slowly moving to the top side, even though the strength of the move isn't that huge, especially on dollar yen and dollar CAD. Now, coming down to the bottom pairs, we still have these pairs cruising to the downside. And the good thing is we did have Australian employment data out, which was weaker than expected, and that's pushed the Aussie lower. So just having a look at that data, I mean, it's just sort of, that's what I mean. If we had a bit stronger US numbers, then this weakness in the employment numbers would have led to probably a much bigger move. The employment change, okay, minus 19,000. But the key part here is minus 10,000 full-time, a drop in the participation rate, unemployment rate still at 5.3%. That was forecast, but it is slightly worse than the prior numbers. So, you know what? This data is what the RBA has been focusing on. Weakness here should create weakness in the currency. And I've sort of reflected that. If I scroll down, you'll see, and you come down to the Aussie week employment data, you'll see the forecast here. Just looking for a move down towards 67, sort of 25. Take profit's actually at 35, but it should drift lower, normal market conditions. Now, I know we're a long way from normal market conditions, but you got to give this one a chance. It has broken down on the hourly and daily chart, so it looks pretty good to me. Once again, you'll find the analyst forecast down below the overall analysis. Okay, let's just have a quick look at the charts. Get you tuned up on your technical analysis. Okay, so here's the, I've got that actually on the Aussie itself. Let me just change the screens. There we go. Okay, so you can see here, I've just got the Aussie. You can see where it broke down here on the employment numbers, also breaking down on the daily chart, and it's breaking back down on the weeklies back into the range. So to me, that's a couple of various signals there. That's good enough for me to be getting involved, especially with the central bank focusing on those rates very closely. Now, looking at the other pairs, Kiwi, okay, it's doing its own thing. The unexpected no change in rates still has it sitting up here. I think it's probably going to come down. The Aussie push here lower may be the catalyst for a move back towards 63.30, but they have disengaged themselves at the moment. Dollar yen, well, there's not a lot in it. To me, overall, it's trading sideways, but you can see it's battling. It wants to go lower, but there's just no momentum. And euro, well, the US CPI numbers, they were just a fraction, indifferent. We're starting to, like euro still moving lower, but you can see how the momentum is fading, right? When it fades, traders get nervous about a little stop loss spike. So it's hard to stay in the trade, but you know what? For all money, it looks like it's still going to go lower. Sterling back just drifting sideways after the Brexit news a couple of days ago. And dollar CAD starting to look more like a normal trend. Now it's moving higher. But that's really opposed to what oil's doing, which is moving, it's rallying. So that should really drive dollar CAD lower, but we've got a bit of a discombobulation there. So when you put all that together, what do we get? Well, now what we've got these market situations. Now, the overall analysis, the dollar. Now, talking about the strength, when it gets into orange, I'm sort of paying attention. And these levels here, well, Euro, Aussie, definitely the two best trading pairs. The dollar index, if you can get your hands on that, well, yep, it's still going higher, but it is stalling. To me, the standout is the two pairs down the bottom here, Euro and Aussie, and that's where your analysis, directs you. Now, when you come back to sort of piece together where momentum may come from over the next 24 hours, you're looking at the upcoming major events. Well, we've got prelim German GDP numbers, always worth a bit of a bo peep. UK retail sales. Now, once again, I keep posting the UK data just so you know it's there, but Brexit is the dominating driving force here. So I can't see that really coming into play. But what we do get is another run of some inflation numbers following the CPI. We've got the PPI, right? We're looking for some consistency on that US data. Slightly stronger, we should start to see the dollar slowly climbing a bit higher. And that's all we've got pretty much for Thursday. And we wait for Friday where we've got US retail sales and industrial production numbers. So that's pretty much it, guys. A pretty thorough run through. Have a good look at the MyFX Trading Hub. As I said, what we're trying to do is enhance your analysis so you understand what you're looking at. All right. So just for example, with the dollar index up here, we've got a daily trend line on the top side and a week hourly support line on the downside, but the overall trend is up and it's got pretty modest strength there as well. All right, guys, have a good trade day. Cheerio.